Welcome to the Upside Down Kingdom.
Hey there, welcome to the sermon preview for this week. I've got Morgan Rich with us here today. Excited to have a conversation with you about our passage for this week. So Morgan is interning with us here for the summer and into the school year. And so Morgan, we are continuing on in our Sermon on the Mount series called Upside Down Kingdom. And we're in our 14th week of this series, which is just crazy to me that we've gotten this far already. But it's been so great to dig deep into Jesus' words within this. So today we're going to be looking at Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 through 34. So it's actually probably one of the longer passages that we've had in this series. And in this passage, there's kind of this main topic that brings its way out in our passage today, and it's this idea of anxiety, right? In three different times within this passage, Jesus says, do not be anxious or do not worry, depending on the translation that you have. So this is a big idea, right? Jesus says it three times in Scripture. When somebody says something three times, we should probably pay attention and listen. So he says it three times. Do not be anxious. So clearly, the people in that day dealt with worry and anxiety, just like people in our day worry about stuff and are anxious about things. And I don't know if it was worse then or worse now. Who knows? I just know that it's something that people deal with. And so, Morgan, it was an issue then. It's an issue today. So why is it that we as humans so easily get to this point of worry and anxiety?
So definitely I think it's lack of control. We feel that the world around us is just chaotic, and we just feel like we need to rein it in for ourselves, and we just need to control it for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Lack of control. We have this chaos about it, and when we don't have control, we're just grasping at straws, trying to figure out what it is that we can have a little bit of control over, right? So in this passage, Jesus, he uses three different examples that are pretty basic necessities for them. So he uses what you will eat, what you will drink, and what you will wear. So food, water, and clothes. Okay, three basic necessities. And he says, don't be anxious about these things, right? In that time, people were anxious about those things because they didn't know when their next meal would come. They didn't know where they would find water sometimes. It was a dry area. And a lot of times they had one set of clothes, right? Now, in our world today, I don't know if I've ever had to think, where's my next meal coming from? Or where am I going to get a drink of water? Or what clothes am I going to wear? That's not as much, for some it is, not as much of an issue today. But the principle is the same, right? So as we think about this, what are things in our culture that Jesus, if Jesus was here today, he would say, do not be anxious about this?
So I definitely think schedules, relationships, jobs, money, definitely the future.
Yeah, for sure. Which the future, I mean, in your life, this is incredibly relevant. You're going into your senior year of high school and looking at big decisions of college and career and all of these different things. So there's so many things, and within that, you said jobs. I think there's a lot of people that have that worry or that anxiety of is this the right job? Should I have a different job? Or anxiety within that job of relationships with coworkers. I mean, there's endless things of things that can create that anxiety or that worry within our lives. And again, it stems back to that idea of, I don't have control in this situation, so this is my body's response or my mind's response to try and find some control. And Jesus has something to say about the usefulness or lack thereof of worry and anxiety in those situations. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more on Sunday. But really, as Jesus works his way through this teaching, we see that he ends up giving us something to replace our worry and anxiety with. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I want you to go and find it for yourself, and then we'll talk about it on Sunday as well. But he gives us something which we can replace that and change it to where maybe we're still not in control, but somebody is.
Yeah.
And so I want you to look for that. So this week, as you're preparing for this passage, I want you to go through and read it in maybe a couple different translations as you go. By the way, what is your favorite Bible translation?
Definitely ESV.
ESV. Cool. That's what we use here. I really like the CSB
Okay.
as well. Yeah. It's maybe my second favorite.
All right.
Okay. So read it and then think about this question. What is it that you worry about in your life? What is it that you worry about in your life? Because I think sometimes in order to be able to take the anxiety or the worry that we have and replace it with something else, we need to recognize it, maybe even name it of this is what causes me anxiety, this is what causes me anxiety, and then we can give that over to God and replace it with something else. So I'm excited for Sunday. I think it's going to be a really great time of coming together, worshiping, and learning. So we'll see you then. Take care.
In his upside down kingdom, the king laid down his crown for the cross. He chose to give his life for the lost and the broken souls. He's coming to take us home.